So my name is Bonnie, and I'm going to be doing a speech today about how to create a formal resume for a company to get a quick snapshot of your skills so that they can move forward, hopefully towards an interview. So basically, what I'm going to show you right quick is I'm going to show you an example of a resume that I have received here at my job that it's not bad, but it's just not quite exactly what we were looking for. So that would be this. We're covering up her name, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it doesn't stand out. It's not really capturing the attention of an employer in the way that you would want it to. It's blocky, the lettering it's not similar throughout the whole resume, and it's just very meshed together. It doesn't look good. The reason that we're doing this is because most people are going to apply for a job in their lifetime, and now really employers are not looking for just a paper application. They're looking for a resume that gives them a really good grasp of who you are as an employee. They want to be able to see a little snapshot of who you are before they even get you in their office for an interview. The reason I decided to do this is because I do work in a staffing agency, so I look at 50 to 60 resumes a day, probably hundreds a week. As you can see, my desk over here is littered full of resumes. So I know what I'm talking about when I say these because I create them all the time. So basically throughout this speech, what we're going to be talking about is your professional summary. It's your objective statement with your resume. We're going to talk about the skills and how you should list them, your experience, and your education. So those are the four main parts of a resume that I think are the most important. So starting off, generally what you're going to need is a computer because handwritten resumes are a no-go. You do need to have a typed out resume. It's just more formal, keeps everything really nice and neat, and it just makes you look better as an applicant. So step one, of course, is your objective statement. So your professional summary, it is going to be just a little quick paragraph about what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve by submitting this resume. It should always be industry specific, and it should always be short and concise. You don't want to make a long drawn out statement. You want to just get the point across and then be done with it. The next part is going to be your skills. Your skills should veer away from character traits. You don't want to use things like motivated, time-oriented, detail-oriented. You don't want to use things like that because they are more character traits versus things that you actually know how to do. So an example of that would be that you're proficient in Microsoft Excel, that you have the ability to lift 50 pounds, that you can any other things like that. That you're proficient in Microsoft Excel, that you have data entry skills, that you can lift 50 pounds, you're construction certified. Any of those variety of things are skills that you would put in your resume. It gives them, again, a quick snapshot of what you're doing, what skills you have, and where you're trying to go with your resume. Your experience then should always be listed in chronological order. The most recent position should be at the top. And then your most recent position should be at the top, and your oldest position should be at the bottom. You generally only want to keep about 5 years worth of experience on your resume unless it's extremely relevant, because employers are not caring about your retail work 10 years ago. They care about what you're doing now, and again, it needs to be industry specific. You want to make sure that this is tailored toward the position that you are applying for. So, for example, on this resume that I was looking at here, they have your position. You need to have your position listed. You need to have the employment agency or wherever you worked listed. You need to have the dates of your employment. A month and year will be completely satisfactory. You don't have to go down to the specific date. Then you need to have the location so that they can kind of have a grasp of which direction. Because if you say Jiffy Lube, there's a million Jiffy Lubes across the world. So you kind of have to narrow it down and let them know which Jiffy Lube you worked at. From there, all of your skills, all of the details should be measurable. They, again, are not going to be just character trait, and they should be your most important tasks. You don't want to write down that you were sweeping. You don't want to write down that you were just like dusting. You want to put those important ones, those key characteristics that you have been doing. Moving on then to the education, it's pretty similar to the employment history. Education should have your place of education, the diploma or degree that you received, should have the dates of your education, and then again, it should have the location because it helps specify exactly where you had gone to school. For this one, you don't really have to have too many details, but if you have any relevant coursework outside of the degree or program that you're in, that's when you could list that as well. So again, just tailor your resume to a specific industry. So now, as just kind of an overview, I'm going to show you a resume that we have looked at here at our office, who we feel like hers is just a little bit more organized and put together. So again, I'm going to cover up her. And you see here how her skills are, they're measurable. They're not things, she does have a few here that are time oriented and things like that. But for the most part, she has inventory control. They're all actual skills, things that she has learned. When you look at her job history, you see that she wrote where she worked at, who she worked for, she wrote how long she's been there, and she wrote just a quick snapshot of all of the skills and all of the actual duties that she performed at the job. When you flip it over and you look at her education, short, sweet, and simple, does not require too much, and then she put her date of graduation. A resume is not meant to be long, it is meant to be short, sweet, and simple, so that an employer can really get a good grasp of who you are before you walk in, because if your resume does not show who you are, they're not even going to waste their time with you. So, again, like I said, the conclusion. The 4 main things that you should be worrying about are your objective statement. You need to make it industry specific and very short. Your skills, they should be measurable. Your experience, it should include your date, the employer, your title, and the location, as well as any important job duties. And then your education should have your educating facility, your degree or diploma, any relevant work history, any relevant work course load, and then the dates. So that's really how you should create a resume. Bye.